In terms of working together, how does
Yeah.
that work? I'm really curious about this because I find that, especially with romantic partners,
Yeah.
working together, being together is one thing, working together is another thing, right? And if you guys have, if people have different working styles,
Yeah.
it gets very tough because you love the person, you care for the person, but they piss you off.
Yep.
So I want to know about your working dynamic. Do you guys have rules? Do you have systems? Are you just working on vibes? Like, how do you make it work?
People are always really curious
Yeah.
about this one.
I feel like we've gotten to a place where we really know, like, first of all, how the other person works, how the other person, likes to receive, I don't know, questions or criticisms, like that kind of thing.
It's really evolved because it's actually great answering this question now because I feel like we've hit our stride. Like we are in a good place. First, because it's been just over 2.5 years full time. The first, like I was all, again, I
First
went
year,
into it
yeah.
like, this will be fine. We'll figure it out. Everything's good. Whoa, like it is hard.
Yeah.
And the first like year and a half at least it's hard because you have your idea of setting things up, but then and like who's gonna do what role, whatever. But you also have to go with the flow, especially in what we do. It's not
You
very
have to go with the flow.
yeah. Like when we quit our job, we were only on YouTube even. Now we're on all these different platforms. Now we have different income streams we didn't have before. Like all these things change. So you have to go with that too. Biggest thing is definitely communication and getting on like the same page. And I think I always did this too, is like, hey, we have the same goal. Like this is what I always tell him. I'm on your team. Other than you, I'm the most on your team. Like we are working to the same thing. No one wants it more than you. And once you build up trust in each other and you gain the trust by communicating constantly about the goals and what we're picturing. But it's been a balancing act too, right? Because we actually talked about this the other day. I feel like us being in a relationship helps the business stuff because we both are driving to the same thing.
Yes.
But it can be harder on the relationship sometimes because you have to find the balance of
That's true.
personal and professional, like the business stuff. So it's been a journey, but it feels nice being further in.
It feels really good now. I would say I was going back to me being like all or nothing. It's kind of hard for you to be the all or nothing person, and then all of a sudden like expect that from your partner when that's not how they operate or how they receive things. It just doesn't really make sense.
That makes sense.